Hey guys, Mr. Moriarty here. I'm not supposed to be out this afternoon, but I woke up and I felt terrible. So I'm recording this in the morning before school starts. So my afternoon classes, I'm not going to see you. I apologize, but I don't think this lesson's too bad. I'm gonna try to do my best to get through this. So today this is actually supposed to be Monday's lesson, but I figured with me being out today would be probably the best time to do this because it's easier than the other lesson that we had. So this one's called two-way tables. Um, it's a what a two-way table is a table that shows data from one sample group as it relates to two categories. Okay, so you can see before we read the question even, but in this table, there's two different things that we have. We have PlayStation stuff and we've got cell phone stuff. So what's going to happen with this? It's almost if you've ever played Sudoku. It reminds me of that. The problem is going to give us some information, and we are going to have to use math to kind of fill in the rest of the information, and then we can make kind of conjectures and things about that. But that'll be on the other side. But anyway, so the problem is Felipe surveyed students at his house, sorry, at his school. He found that 78 students own a cell phone and 57 of those students own a PlayStation. There are 13 students that do not own a cell phone but own a PlayStation. 9 students do not own either device. Construct a two-way table summarizing the data. So there's a lot of information, but you'll see as we start kind of rereading that and filling in that information, we don't have all of it. So we kind of finishing the two-way table is going to be our job. So let's reread it. It says Felipe surveyed students at his school. He found that 78 students own a cell phone. 78 students own a cell phone. So down here, we're going to look at this cell phone category. Okay. That, what I highlighted, says nothing about PlayStations. So I'm going to put that 78 over here because that's all I know about that. Right. 57 of those students own a PlayStation. So 57 of those students, which are the cell phone students, 57 also own a PlayStation. Right? There are 13 students that do not own a cell phone, but they own a PlayStation. So this would be in the no cell phone category, but the PlayStation category. Okay? There are 13 of those students. Right? 9 students do not own where are we at? 9 students do not own either device. 9 students do not own either device. So that would be a no cell phone, no PlayStation. There's going to be 9 students there. So that's all, all the information that we are given. So we kind of need to fill in the blanks. So you can kind of start however you want. It doesn't really matter to me. The first thing that I see is the PlayStations. We have a blank for PlayStation. So the PlayStation, the total of the PlayStation people are going to be a combination of the cell phone and the no cell phone. So I'm going to take my calculator and take 57 plus 13, and I see that the total number of PlayStation people is 70. Okay, actually, let me use a different color. This will work. Total number of PlayStation people is 70. Okay, I also see that I've got, well, I don't know how many cell phone users and no PlayStation people I have. So here's what I'm talking about, right? Don't know that gap. But I know that if the total is 78 and 57 of those folks do have a PlayStation, then my no PlayStation people will be 78 minus 57. So 21. Okay. The next thing is my total no cell phone users. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to add the PlayStation people and the no PlayStation people. 13 plus 9, that gets me 22. And then after that, it's just filling in the other columns. So my no PlayStation people, 21 plus 9, That's going to get me 30. And 70 plus 30 is 100. What should happen is your total here and your total here should all be the same thing. Okay, your total there should all be the same thing. So 70 and 30, that's a pretty easy math to do in my opinion. But that 78 plus 22, just to double check, that is 100. Okay, that is 100. So that's a two-way table. Honestly, that's a two-way table right there. So what I'd like for you guys to do, I would like for you to pause this video, and I want you to try this next one right here. Okay, I want you to try this right here. So pause this video. If you don't, it's just going to be an awkward pause, and then I'm going to go into solving this, but I'm going to do it quickly because we have the backside. Okay, coming back from an awkward pause. There's 150 children at a summer camp, and 71 signed up for swimming. So there are 71 children who signed up for swimming total. There's going to be 150, so this is giving you the total right there. 71 signed up for swimming. There were a total of 62 children that signed up for kayaking, and 28 of them also signed up for swimming. So kayaking and swimming, 28 are kayaking and swimming. 62 signed up for kayaking. That one threw me off. So there were a total of 62 children that signed up for kayaking. 28 of them also signed up for swimming. We can do it from here. We got this. Okay. So it's basically on this one, it's going to be taking our totals and subtracting what we have. From what I can see, the total swimming is going to be a combination of the kayaking and the no kayaking. So I'm going to take 71 minus 28 to get 43. I'm going to take, for that bottom total, I'm going to take 150 minus 62 to get 88. And then I'm going to take my 62 total minus 28 for kayaking, which is 34. I can take my 88 minus 43 to find the no swimmers, no kayakers. I can take my 150 minus 71 to get 79, and that would be the two-way table. That would be how I would fill this one out. Okay, so there we go. That's the front side. That is the front side of this. All right, back side we're going to do a little bit more, but this is pretty much the extent of it. So we do have two-way tables that are kind of already, actually one of them's filled out, the other one is not. So here's the back side. Okay, we're going to talk relative frequency. Sorry. What relative frequency is, it is the ratio of the value of a subtotal to the value of the total. Remember, ratio means fraction. So we're gonna have some fractions in this. But yeah, we'll be fine on that. So this, I believe, is from the front side, if I do recall. 5713. Yeah, this is the PlayStation cell phone problem from the front side. So we already have this information, right? We already have this information. 5713. That's going to be what? 70. This was 30. The total was 100. I'm just going to flip back. 7822. 78, 22. So we can fill in those totals again. They were from the front side. We already did that math. I ain't worried about that. Okay. So in this particular problem, it says the two-way table shows the amount of students with cell phones that play PS4. Clearly, this is an outdated set of notes because PS5 is all the rage. Find and interpret the relative frequencies of students in the surveys by row. So I want to emphasize this, because you cannot do this by row and column. So rows are going to be these guys. So we're kind of talking about cell phones, okay? So the totals that definition was talking about, the ratio of the value of a subtotal to the value of the total, the subtotals are going to be these right here, and the totals that we're going to use are going to be these. That's by row. Okay, the other one I think is by column. But yeah, so by row. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our subtotals, which would be 57, right small, sorry, I didn't give you a ton of room, I apologize, over our actual total, 21 over our actual total, 13 over our actual total, which in this case would be 22, because again, we're going by by rows. Okay, so all of these guys right here, that would be that relative frequency. And just kind of for easier numbers, I am, or at least numbers that we can kind of do something with, compare something with, I am going to divide them to get a decimal, because that decimal can be seen as a percent. So this one here is, I guess I should use my just about signs, right? So this one here is just about 0.73, so about 73%. It makes sense that this one is going to be, actually, no, I don't want to do that one next. I want to do this one next, because what should happen is your relative frequencies should equal 100%. So if I take that 21 out of 78, I get about 27 or 0.27. And 0.27 plus 0.73 is 1. So this is going to be 1, which is 100%. Okay, so your relative frequencies will add up to 100%. If I do the bottom one, 13 out of 22, that gets me about 0.59. So I would expect this next one to be 0.41. 9 divided by 22, 409, yes, so 0.41, which again, it does equal 1 when you add up your relative frequencies, which is 100% of the data. Okay, so that's kind of a lot, but the math is mathing, so there is that. It does work out. So it does say interpret the relative frequencies. There's several things that we can pull from this. I would say, so just looking at this data, I'm going to kind of interpret this part here. So I'm going to say of the cell phone users, because that's what they are. That was the row stuff. I'm saying about, so about 75% also had a PlayStation. I'm just going to abbreviate PlayStation with PS. Okay. Yeah, that works. Maybe one more. Of the how about this? I would say this is going to be a weird one, but that's all right. I would say less than half the cell phone, or I'm just going to say just the whole thing. Less than half the total students had neither a cell phone or a PlayStation, right? And I'm looking at this data point right there for that. 0.41 is less than 50%, so I'm looking at that. All right. So a couple things. I mean, you can pull any sorts of different things. All right. So in the next one, you guys are going to take this one. Obviously, it's going to be an awkward pause for me. So if you just want to let the video run and copy along, that's fine. But you're going to do the same thing. But this time, you have to build your your two-way frequency table. So pause the video and then come back and we'll go over it. Okay, welcome back. Awesome. So the data from a survey of 440 students, so that sounds like a total to me, revealed the following. There are 115 students only on the honor roll. So that would mean that they don't play a sport, I would assume. 115. And I'm writing it small because remember, we're going to do the relative frequency. The school has 45 students who only play a sport. So that would be not on the honor roll. 45 students down here. There are 250 students who play a sport and are on the honor roll. Play a sport and on the honor roll, 250. Construct a two-way table to summarize. Okay. Yeah, we can take it from here. Okay, so I'm going to find my total honor roll kids. That's going to be the 250 who play a sport plus the 115 who don't. 365 is what we got. I'm going to find the total sport players. That'd be 250 plus 45, which is 295. My total not on the honor roll would be my total 440 minus 365. Get 75. And then my total not play a sport would be 440 minus 295. 145. So there's that. Oh, we're missing the middle. I'm going to take that 145 minus 115. Okay. So that is your two-way table. If I keep reading, it says find and interpret the relative frequency of the data by column. So this time we're going to do playing a sport versus not playing a sport. So in this case, let's see what we have here. So this again is going to equal 100% or 1. Same with this. Yeah. So 250. That would be 250 out of 295. 0.85 about. That would mean that we assume that this one is probably going to be, I would say 0.15. But I'll do the calculation. 0.15. Sure, that'll work. This is 115 out of our total, which is 145. Come on. 0.79. So it's about 0.79. There's that. And then this guy is 30 out of 145. 0.21. Perfect. The math is mathin' today. Cool. All right. And there's a lot of different interpretations that you could have on this. I'm going to go ahead, though, and just kind of leave this blank because you guys have an assignment today. So I want you guys to get to that. I'm planning on seeing you guys Monday. I'll try to be on email this afternoon, but I think you can tell I kind of feel like poop. So I will see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend.